Hey y'all, Chris here, aka Rufotris, and thanks for watching. So today I'm going to share some clips from the club. I went and cut up some slabs to get ready to make some new cabs, and this is just a peek at some of those slabs. But the main point of today's video isn't these slabs, it's actually this piece of dino bone. This came from Rockin' in Kentucky, our friend Andrew, and honestly, I was really excited when he said he wanted me to work this piece for him. I said, yeah, definitely, send it on over and I'll get it polished up. So he wants the bottom here cut flat so it'll rest nice and even on the table, and then the top domed. It's already domed, but to follow that natural curve. I don't know if this is like a joint bone or what. I could see it being like a, I don't know, ball and joint kind of piece of a bone. But anyway, that's how he wants it, is to sit flat like that. So we're going to trim up the bottom here. And aside from that, I cut all these little goodies and bits here. That's some peeks at some next videos and all sorts of things coming up. In fact, a lot of that shirty stuff in the box, that's stuff from Canada. And again, yeah, whole other video. Oh, and this one was all polished up quickly at the club just to see what some of that shirt would look like from Canada. So, I'm not sure what happened to my original clips here, and unfortunately, the dino bone is already gone and back to Andrew at the point of recording this, but I'm going to re-record the clips I can with the other pieces he sent me. But along with the dino bone, I did an unpacking. I don't know if maybe I just showed it on a live, but I swear I had a video clip too. He sent some really cool crinoid stems. So we're going to take a quick look at these and then jump into the polishing bits of the dino bone that I do have. I know I did some of that live. I think we did the bottom of the dino bone live a bit, which came out pretty nicely, but let's take a look at these little crinoids that he sent. Alright, so I made a label for these because I'm going to try and start labeling more of my stuff to stop losing it, because I'm really bad at that. These are pretty cool. Some nice crinoids with some really great definition to them. Really nice agatized bit in there, it looks like. Might polish the outer part of this one, I'm not sure. Or maybe this one, because the outside's less defined. Maybe slice it up into little coins, I don't know. This one though, this one's staying on my display. I like it a lot. It's got these little babies on top. Looks almost like chert inside. Let's take a slightly closer look and even measure these. So look at those little baby tiny crinoids on there. They're only like 2 millimeters wide. They're so tiny. Like, each of these ridges is 3 millimeters from ridge to ridge. And then these little tiny babies up here, just 2 millimeters across the whole thing. That's pretty cool. I like the color of that too. On the bottom we've got a lot of definition. I like that. So, this last one I saved because it's got some little tiny ones in it as well. But not just all the little babies, tiny fossils in there, which I want to look at. That would be perfect for Karen's microzone show. See all what we could find down in there, looking a little closer. Looks like some shell fragments up top there. But I polished this one up. But I'm getting ahead of myself because I'm recording and editing this stuff all out of order. That comes at the end. Let's take a look at the clips I sent to Andrew about the dino bone and get looking at that. So after I dome the top, it kind of leans this way. Do you want it, so like if it's leaning towards you, do you want me to cut it so it still like displays this way? Or do you want me to flatten the bottom more so it stays upright, more mushroomy, like that, and kind of grind it down at an angle? I think it might be better if I just flatten the bottom a bit and you let it lean forward, showing the dome towards you like this. Let me know if that sounds good for you. Alright, so I'm gonna finish up the top here, but I did go live after those last clips, and we ended up polishing the bottom on a live stream. And look at that nice finish there. You can see the LEDs pretty nicely. Now it does look a little bumpy, but that's because of the cell walls there. So If you look really closely right there, you can see how the cell walls grind away faster than the agatized cells. But in the end, still turned out beautiful. Got some nice kind of quartzy and or chalcedony filled cells there. Now to just make the top as shiny and nice as the bottom there. I assessed it for a little while, and I think I am going to go just a little bit deeper and try and remove a little bit more of that brown up top and that pitting. A little bit of pits right here. And that's just going to make all sorts of issues with the final polish and shining it up. So I'm going to take it down just a little bit more, about a millimeter, half millimeter there, and see if we can remove a little more of that pit. So let's see what happens. I'll be right back. All right, so as I started to go down to try and remove the pitting, unfortunately a crack did appear. So I stopped going any deeper because that was very worrisome. The pitting just got more extreme. But overall, getting a fairly good polish. Now, the difference in mineralization in this is really causing some difficulties. Some spots just won't shine as well as others. They've got a lot of pitting, not as agatized. So it's a little tricky, but it's going pretty good so far. So the color came out pretty good on this. I like the variation in the colors as I ground down and exposed it. I did go a little deeper to get rid of some of that pitting on the top, but cracks started to open up and there was more pitting, so I didn't go any lower there. The bottom is really nice. Actually got a really good polish on that. Nice flat polish. Even though it's just going to be there to display for him to see it this way. But it might be nice to be able to pick it up and look at a nice polished bottom. And let's take a closer look at those cells now that it's all done. So, taking a quick peek at the bottom here, I'll zoom in. You can see it's a really quartzy rock. It's got some chalcedony in there, I think. But I think a majority of these little filled up cells are actually quartz. Like, not as dense microcrystalline chalcedony. There's just a lot of little fractures and rainbows in there that make it look more quartzy. Sorry, it's sitting on the top, so it's a little wobbly. It's just setting it there. But take a look at the little cells on the top here now. And we can see it's a lot of the same. A little more solid on the top. It doesn't quite look as fractured and quartzy looking, but there's a lot of difference in hardness throughout this piece, so it was a bit of a pain to polish, and I did have to go back 4 or 5 times to get the polish this nice. When I get as close as possible, we can see some micro scratches on the cell walls because it kind of overcuts. It's a little bit softer than the quartz filling the cells. But it's not really visible to the naked eye. I do wish I could have done it better, but I went back already like 4 times to get it this good. And overall it's got a pretty good reflection. You can see my LED lights in it there. Some of the spots were just like not taking polish, like look over here. The mineralization was just not as dense, I guess. There's a lot more porous right there. Things like that, but let's go ahead and take one more look at this in the UV, and I'm going to be shipping it off back to Andrew. Thanks for letting me work on this for you, man. I really hope you like it. But I'm gonna give this set a little polish real quick on the wheels, show you a little peek of what'll be coming up in the video with that. Alrighty, just took it up to the 50,000 grit polish. And you can see my light's pretty good in there. I would say that's got a pretty nice polish on it. Got a lot of details we can see in it. Some little sparkles too. Got little sparkles. Let me try and set up for a better macro shot. And look a little closer at those plumes. There's a few little scratches in it, but it's kind of cool how you can see that the fibrous structure of whatever that is there. Kind of looks like zeolite growth with the white fibrous hairs. And then all the little quartz sparklies all over it. Let's take a little peek in the UV and call it. I know that calcite right there in the center of the screen glows a little bit, but let's take a look at the rest now that it's been polished. Alright, checking it out in the UV here. So that calcite pops quite a bit. And some stuff down in the little cavities, but yeah, it's kind of cool how you can see the coral structure a little better. The pattern there around the edge pops with the UV. Very cool. Any light phosphorescence? Oh yeah. The calcite down in that little hole glowed for an extra second. Big thanks to Rockin' in Kentucky for sending that over. It was a lot of fun to polish the dino bone for him and then have the crinoids to add to my collection. I know I go back and forth crinoids, and I'll probably continue to do so. Hope it doesn't bug you. But thank you all for joining me. I will see you on the next adventure, which at this point, I don't even know what it is. I've got like 15 different projects on my table. So stay tuned for next week. Every Thursday, I'm trying to post a regular video. We'll see you then. Bye. And as of editing all this and trying to get it up, it is already Thursday. I'm far too late. I spent the whole day in bed, not feeling super great. I'm sorry. So it'll be out, well, tomorrow, but actually for you today, Friday? Hopefully Friday morning.